Hello and welcome back to Agile Coaching Foundations program from Digital Agility Institute. We are very happy to have you starting your Agile coaching journey with us. So in the first part of this program, we talked about why Agile coaching is so much in demand across the industries, and we also talked about what Agile coaching is. And in this particular session, we will talk about the difference between a coach operating at a team level versus a tribe or a business unit or a portfolio level, and someone who is operating at an enterprise level. So, an enterprise agile coach. So a coach can operate at multiple layers, right? So you can be a coach at a team level. That means you are helping the team to transform. Then you are scaling up. You are operating at a tribe, which essentially is a collection of teams. And mostly one tribe is associated with one value stream. Of course, it can be more than one, but mostly it is one. And then it could be a portfolio or a product portfolio wherein you have multiple value streams that are connected, and that could be a business unit as well, right? And the last is at an organization level or an enterprise level, which comprises of multiple businesses or multiple business units based on the scale the organization is doing business in, right? So that is what we will look into in this particular session. And why it is important to understand this, right? Because it helps you to really visualize where you can start, what are the skill sets required for moving across different levels of being a coach. And that comes from at least having a fair understanding of what the expectation is from a coach when they are operating at different levels. So that will be the intent of this particular session. So the first of the roles you could play is as a team coach, means coaching at the team level. So at this stage, when you are coaching the team, you are focused on helping the team to become autonomous and self-managed. And that agile is all about autonomous and self-managed teams, right? So how do you help a team that has been uh, operating completely under command and control, completely being directed? So how do you help them to actually become autonomous and become self-managed? This involves a lot of dynamics. When you think about this, from what we are saying, it may look simple, but what is involved in helping a team become autonomous and self-managed, right? One is about working with the leaders and managers who are currently responsible for the outcomes the team produces. They would be used to a certain way of managing, certain way of leading that team. How do you help them practice new ways of leading, new ways of managing the team, right? There is a lot of insecurity when we talk about autonomous and self-managed teams, because the managers feel, what is my role then? What am I doing if the team is autonomous? There is definitely a role for them. They are supposed to be playing more the role of a coach or playing the role of a mentor, right? How they build the team dynamics. They are supposed to be looking at how the team is operating. What can they facilitate in terms of interacting with stakeholders? How can they limit the stakeholder influence on the team negatively, right? How can they help the team focus? How can they plan for teams upskilling? What upskilling is needed? Look at how they are performing, right? All those can be taken care of as managers or leaders. And they need to give away that authority or delegate that authority to make decisions. And they are responsible to ensure the team is able to make the right decisions. That means they are there to guide, to be observant that the team is not making decisions which can drastically impact the team and the organization negatively. So that is something the leader side of it. And sometimes we also see that the teams are not willing to take up the responsibility. They are not okay with being self managed or being autonomous. So from that point of view, it is about understanding why team doesn't want to take responsibility, and that's a situation we have experienced, that the leaders are okay giving away but the team doesn't want to take it, right? Then in that situation, again, how you build that confidence, understand what is the mindset of the team, why they are hesitant. Is it about the fear of being penalized if they fail after being autonomous, after being self managed? What if their decisions don't turn out to be right? Then how does the organization actually deal with such a situation? And those may be stopping the team from being open to take that delegation onto themselves and be autonomous, right? So those are the dynamics that we as coaches at team level need to be conscious of, need to be visible to, right? And then work with the team to help them become autonomous. Then again, within the team there would be a lot of dynamics that would be at play, right? There would be people who are kind of power centers, who are kind of experts, and they want to run the team by themselves. So those dynamics also can happen, and there would be people with diverse level of skills and competencies. Then how do you as a coach bring that awareness of personalities that are very different, diverse, the cultures which are very diverse? Because when you are a team, it's not essentially everybody is located or from the same origin. You may have a team that is distributed across on-site and offshore. Then you are talking about two different cultures. So how is that influencing the team dynamics? What dependencies that is creating for the team, and how they actually manage that? And then what conflicts can originate? If you think about team development, there are multiple models that give guidance on how teams can grow, right, from being a group to actual team that is high performing, or now we are talking about high value creating teams. So how do you actually see that happening? How can you as a coach be visible to or be vigilant about the state of a team, which state they are in, right? So if you talk about the Tuckman's model, you are talking about the forming, norming, storming, performing, and then adjourning, of course, in some state. And then if you're another model that you can think of is about shuhari, right? That also is another model. So from that point of view, there are different models that you can think of as a coach. And actually, what are the evidences that will tell you where the team is in this development stage, which development stage the team is currently in, and how they want to progress, and then how do they manage the conflicts, how well they understand each other, how well they respect each other, right? And that involves uh, the values the team wants to pursue. Correct? If it is a development team, the Scrum values come in, right? What values does Scrum advocate? What are the agile values and principles? So if you are not across all these, I would recommend you to go through our Agile Fundamentals program, where we talk about all these elements of Agile and the Scrum and the Kanban, and what roles and how the dynamics play within those teams. So you can always look to take it up if you are already not aware, right? And that as a team coach, you are also expected to work with the product owner. Just to touch upon the responsibility or accountability of the product owner is to understand the product vision and objectives that are defined by the product management group, and then be able to break that down for the team on what the product goal that this team is contributing to, and then create the features and the user stories that the team can complete, take it into their work or their sprint backlog or their iteration backlog, and complete that to accomplish or deliver value consistently for the stakeholders, right? So that, again, as a coach, you are supposed to be working with the product owner, and then you are also responsible to talk to the work with the Scrum Master as well, right? So if it is a Scrum team, then you have to see how the team is, interacting with each other. What is the culture that is prevalent in the team? Ultimately, we are looking to develop a culture of collaboration where everybody is respecting each other, everybody is challenging each other, everybody stands by the other person, right? They are there for each other, and that will then help them continuously evolve, continuously pursue the excellence, the path of excellence, right? That, how do you build that culture? That is something also a team coach does. And practice what you preach. It's not about just keep telling people, yes, this is what you need to, this is how the Scrum team needs to be, or this is how an agile team needs to be. An agile leader used to or is required to function in this manner. Are you role modeling as a coach those behaviors? Are you exhibiting them for the team on a daily basis, right? And then that is when you can actually start influencing them and inspiring them. Otherwise, we will be just teaching them, and they may come back and, probably if they are, if you have built enough trust, they may question you itself. Okay, we don't see you doing this, but if not, they will start neglecting your presence, right? They will not be as engaged in the transformation as they need to be for them to really become a high value creating team, right? So that is the responsibility of a team coach. And then next, let's move on to the next level of you being a tribe or a business unit coach. So how does that change from being a team coach to a tribe or a business unit or a portfolio coach, right? When you talk about tribe or a portfolio or a business unit, you are talking about team of teams, right? It's a multiple teams that are contributing to the level of a tribe. A tribe usually in would have anywhere between 50 to 150 people, correct? So we are talking about teams, at least 5 teams to 15 teams, even if you take the size of a scrum team which is less than 10 people, even if you take 10 people, right? And if we're talking about a product portfolio or a business unit, then you are talking about more than 150 up to 500 people, right? If it's a good enough portfolio or a business unit. So when you are talking about that scale of people, that scale of uh, value delivery, then you have more complexity involved, right? You need to understand how the portfolio or a product or a tribe is aligned to the overall strategic objectives of the organization. What are they contributing to? So you should have the ability to understand the organizational strategy, at least what is that this particular portfolio is contributing, why this portfolio is important in this organization, what is the purpose of this particular portfolio, what is the vision of this particular portfolio, right? That is something which is important. Be and have the ability to work with the senior leaders in the organization. At a portfolio level, you will have business leaders who are almost at the executive level, right? They may not be the executives, but they are in line. So they are at that level of experience, and their language, their understanding of the concepts, their vision, their way of looking at things would be quite different to what and how the team level leaders or managers would look at, right? So that is one thing which is very much needed. Then you are talking about, when you are looking at a portfolio, how to really help the portfolio be performing to its best, right? Then you need the concepts and experience of, let's say, implementing lean portfolio management, right? How do you look at the portfolios adopting lean portfolio management, moving from a project based portfolio to product portfolios to value stream driven portfolios? That means you should have the ability to define value streams along with the business, along with the technology teams. When you talk about value streams, there are two types of value streams we talk about. One is the operational value stream, and the second one is a delivery value stream. So operational value streams are the business value streams, and delivery value streams are the technology systems which deliver those functions to help the business fulfill that operational value stream. So help the businesses and the technology teams to really understand, break down that whole product portfolio into multiple value streams, and those would be operational business processes. And here there could be one to one, one to many, or many to one, different combinations at a business process versus a value stream level, and to a product portfolio, how it is aligned, right? How it is mapped to different product services, right? Product functions. So those things need to be well understood, and you should be in a position to help the businesses and the technology teams to be able to arrive at that new structure or new way of delivering value, right? That's what we call as organizational design, right? You should be able to design a portfolio, understand their current state, and define a future state that is more optimal, more lean, for them to deliver value better and faster, right? And then understand the dependencies between teams, not just within one team. So you are talking about multiple complexity, right? So the system, complex adaptive system, is what you are looking at when you are coming up to your portfolio level. So do you understand, do you have the capabilities of kind of system thinking? Do you understand complexity management, right? Are you able to visualize a change that is being done in some team, where all it impacts, correct? So that visualization, thinking about the big picture, understanding about the product vision, the portfolio vision, how the portfolio, or which strategic objective the portfolio is actually going and contributing to, correct? Then work with the portfolio management and the business teams to define the portfolio epics, and then which value stream would actually be taking up or participating into delivering those epics, and then create a portfolio backlog. So you are working at a very higher layer in the organization, and then coaching and mentoring those leaders at that level, and also the team coaches and scrum masters, so that they are able to sustain this transformation and also increase the pace of agile adoption within that business unit, within that portfolio, and within the tribe. So now if you compare what we were discussing when you are operating as a team coach versus when you are operating as a business unit coach, or a tribe coach, or a portfolio coach, the complexity is much higher, and I think you are getting it by now, correct? The next level is about the enterprise agile coach, right? When you are operating at a organization level. Now when you are operating at this level, things become more complex, more complicated, right? So the dynamics at this level are much complex. You are dealing with senior leaders and the executives, the board of the organization. And what would they look up to you for is helping them define or validate their purpose, why they are existing as an organization, their vision and mission statements. Are they really valid in the new environment that they want to move to, the new ways of working, new ways of leading they want to get to, and what is that they want to get out of that transformation itself. Why do they want to transform? What is that they are looking to change as an organization, as an enterprise, correct? So, and in that context of the new outcome they want to accomplish, is the purpose still valid? Is the vision and mission statements, are they still valid, or do we need to change those? What are the current organizational values that we are operating on? Do we need to redefine those values or customize those values to the new context? So we are talking about the organizational values. Do they really are still relevant, right, in the new organizational environment that we want people to operate in, or do we need to change those values, right? And also define what behaviors the people need to exhibit to really showcase that they are living those values in the organization. So all those elements would start coming in, and also you are expected to have the capability to assess where the organization is today in various parameters that are required to be looked at from a culture point of view, from a organizational design. How is the work flowing through the system in the current state? How is the authority flowing through the system in the current state, right? How is the value being delivered? So how is the leadership distributed in the organization? All these elements need to be understood and assessed, and then you have to carve out the future state with the leadership group, the executive group of the organization, to say how do you think your target organization would look like, correct? And what would change by making it the way you actually want it to be, correct? What will change? And then work with those leaders and executives to enhance their leadership agility levels, right? You talk about leadership in the context of an agile organization, agile enterprise. So their way of leading needs to change. That means they need to embrace transformational leadership skills or synergetic leadership skills or co-creating leadership skills. So there are multiple levels of leadership agility, and there is a great book if you want to really read about. I think you can look at that. The title is Leadership Agility itself. Okay, that's a good book to read as well. But it's about working with the leaders to enhance their leadership agility levels, because their leadership agility level will define what is the level of enterprise agility the organization can achieve, how quickly the organization can transform, because that is what can make or break it for the organization. Otherwise it will be very limited to the agility at a delivery layer, but not at an business or an enterprise layer, correct? That is what we are talking about when you are looking at an enterprise agile coach. And an enterprise agile coach plays multiple roles within the context of the transformation initiative, and we will talk about those roles in the next part of the session. So in the next video, we will be looking at the 7 stances of an enterprise agile coach, and we will also talk about how does that come down when you look at the same roles from a tribe or a business unit coach versus a team coach perspective. How does that skill sets gap is visible, and what needs to change if you want to really move from a coach at a team level to an enterprise coach. So that's all for this particular video, and next up is the activity that we want you to really reflect about, right? So you have now probably understood how different it is to operate at different levels of the organization as a coach. Now, with that understanding, where are you seeing yourself? If you have to just reflect, okay, based on what is expected from an agile coach operating at a different levels, where do you see yourself? Where are you? Right? Are you having those skills? Do you think you can deliver, or you can operate at a team level? Do you think you can operate at a tribe or a business unit level, or at an enterprise level, or you wish to operate at that level? Right? So then reflect on that. Where do you see yourself as an agile coach? I hope you are enjoying this, series of videos with us at Digital Agility Institute. And please upload your assignment once you complete the reflection onto the learning portal. And we will see you back in the next video. As I said, we will talk about various roles that an enterprise agile coach would play and what it involves. Thanks for watching this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.